Usually, we discuss a lot about the kind of security vulnerabilities, the possible attack surfaces, the possible attacks, and specifically, we do also discuss that is it really possible? And I have already made a video on this particular possibility, whether the certain type of DDoS attacks are possible or not. Means what are the possible key security surfaces and what are the respective areas, etc. Now the point is, if these are possible, then what are some of the examples? So there are multiple examples you can go and have a check specifically if you're interested in more details. But I'm going to discuss one particular example in this particular video. I'm going to show you that what are the possible causes and what might be the reason of being infected through a particular worm, virus, and kind of Trojan or a specific kind of malware. So hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are going to discuss a specific form of botnet that was introduced in 2016, if I'm not wrong. And that particular form created a huge wave of security in industry. So let's start. So this is the botnet name, that is Mirai. And we are going to study this particular botnet in the form of a kind of case study in this particular video. So we are going to see that what are the some of the basic features, what are the different things those are related to this particular malware, and then why it was dangerous, and what are the kind of key lessons that we learned from this particular case. So let's start. The first thing, definition. So definition says that it is a malware. Now, what is a malware? So malware is just any program which might be in the form of Trojan. It might be hidden. It might be getting a different form from outside, but inside it is totally different thing. Then it might be some sort of, if you say ransomware, means some software or the malware to control of your system, and in return, just to return the control, they are asking for some sort of ransom. It might be some bomb, means like a bomb replicates its copies exponentially in a very short time. Similarly, a software piece, if it is replicating its copy exponentially within a fraction of time and overloading your system, then it's a bomb. And similar sorts of multiple other kind of malwares are present. So it is a malware that infects the small devices, specifically targeted the low power or the constraint sensitive, resource sensitive, means the constrained devices. And that's why it is very much suitable towards the case of IoT. Then when we say the malware, so as I told you, it's an umbrella term and includes multiple types of different forms of this malware. And when we say the different forms, then the worms, viruses, trojan horses, rootkits, etc. Then this particular malware turns your devices into a kind of remotely controlled bots. So when some particular thing gets converted into bot, that bot might be the adversary bot or might be the authentic bot. But if it is a kind of zombie means its authentic behavior is not getting function. Somebody took the control and modified the actual behavior. So that's why the device turned into a kind of zombie. Then this network of bots called the botnet, means which is in actual a net of zombies. So zombie net is usually used to launch the DDoS attack. So in case of Mirai, they used a DDoS attack pattern, and they tried to shut down the services of a particular network. Now the point is that this sort of things, when specifically in the era of cloud computing, people do debate that is it really possible to launch DDoS attack, having the concern that whether the feasibility of any sort of DDoS attack is possible, because the cloud resources are so large in number. But yes, though they cannot shut down your services permanently, but they can at least affect it economically. And how they can affect it economically, so if we explore or explain this particular thing, then the video will go long, but I will tell you a key term, that is low rate wireless personal area network targeted low rate DDoS attacks. So low rate wireless personal area network means that is the resource constrained network type, and the low rate wireless low rate DDoS attack is a particular form of DDoS that is just to have the low rate continuously capturing of your resources. Okay, so you can have a look onto the low rate DDoS attack, then you will understand the whole scenario. Then why this particular Mirai botnet was dangerous? So the danger was main thing in its mutating capability. When you are going for a specific treatment of a particular disease, you are going to solve it in 1 day, in 2 day, 3 day, or 4 day, or in a month, or in a year. But once you treat it, means once you have made a remedy for a particular kind of disease, you are just so relaxed. But if the disease is mutating itself, like corona, then similar sort of you are not relaxed anytime, because you always know that you are relaxing today and perhaps tomorrow a mutant is ready for attack again. So that's why this particular Mirai botnet also had the capability to mutate itself, and that's why it was dangerous to control. It was dangerous to have its presence in your system, and it was almost impossible to capture it. But still, people tried to control it. But by that time, it has already given birth to multiple other variants like the Okeru, Satori, the Masuta, and the Kalmasuta. So you can see that just within this short span, means just after 2016, and people started to capture the control. So in 17 and 18, within this particular time only, multiple variants of this particular botnet came into market. Okay, now when these sort of things do happen, then people became curious with this particular thing, that how this botnet is functioning, means how it is capturing the devices or the network. So one common thing was that people, it targeted the people's net where the people used to have the default settings. And that's why in my multiple security related videos, I always recommend that never go for the default kind of settings. Whenever installing some software, whenever installing some app, whenever doing some installation in your system, never have default installation. Always go for the custom installation. Means you will have a look during custom installation that what sort of services or the backend APIs are getting installed into your system, what sort of space requirements, what sort of permissions it is asking for. And then you will have some basic idea whether it's dangerous for your system or not. Additionally, do not use the default passwords. The Mirai botnet specifically targeted the networks where the people used to have some sort of default passwords. Now you might be wondering that we never use our system with default password, but that's why we are not a popular target of this particular botnet. Yes, you are not a popular target, but you may be a target. Why? Because your system means you are not using a default password at your system, but your system might be connected to some third service, and that particular third service is running onto a platform where some sort of services are using the default passwords. So through this particular third service connection, the virus may come into your system also. So that's why it's a kind of web, and when the one node is infected, you're always at risk. So the best practice is just to disconnect your system from internet, but that is not possible, at least in present era, because everything is online and so many cloud services are running. So the best practice, at least do safety practices at your side, or regularly change your password. Do not use the default passwords. Do not go for the default installation, etc. And always configure the devices yourself. Do not give the authentication or the kind of authentic rights to some third party over internet. Then do not overexpose to public internet. Whatever requirements are needed, that requirements are only supposed to be exposed through you. And if you are going for some open services, it means those are asking for opening your public internet ports, then always open the ports which are necessary. Do not overexpose. Again, the same basic line. So the bottom line, that minimize your internet use and only use the authentic services. Always try to work offline and try to upload the data online in a single shot. So these are some of the related key lessons that you learned from botnet, specifically the Mirai botnet. And hope this particular video have given you some sort of information. If you didn't like this particular video, please do criticize the video and let us know how we can improve our video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.